Hello everyone, good evening. This is Kim with Kim's Creations and Card Ministry. It is Friday, April the 21st, 2023. Um, and I've got some things I want to share with you. I'm trying to figure out where that glare is coming from. I can't figure out which light. I think it's this one. No, not that one. Maybe it's that one, but I can't seem to get it off my catalog. I think when I move the catalog, it'll be fine because that's shiny. But this is the new catalog coming live in May. Sorry, I saw a squirrel and went off tangent. Coming live on May the 2nd so that the public can order out of this catalog. And it's got some really neat things in it. I did get to pre-order a few things that I'll share with you next time when I come on, probably later on in the weekend. But today I want to share with you this paper pumpkin kit from March. I know a lot of people subscribe to these and they want to do something other than what the instructions are in the kit. And so I've got some great alternatives to share. This is from the March 2023 10 Years of Growth Paper Pumpkin. All these kits, the kits are great, y'all, and the ones on the Stampin' Up website, I've done a couple of those. It's just, the kits are great, especially if you don't know where to start. If you've never stamped or made cards or done anything like that before, they're great. They get you going, get you in gear, give you ideas, and they all come with a stamp set. They come with ink. Your first one, well, the ones you order Paper Pumpkin, your first one comes with a block. And then the ones you order from Stampin' Up, they all come with a block if they have a stamp set with them. So it's really cool. But this kit from Paper Pumpkin allows you to make 3 of each of these 3 designs. So for a total of 9 cards with envelopes included, and they give you everything you need. But I'm not going to do these 3. I'm going to do something different. But just so you can see, here's the instructions. There's even a ruler on the edge if you need to measure things. They do give you a couple alternative ideas, and so everything's there that you need, y'all. So it's great. All right, so first of all, what I want to show you, I want to pull out. So the kit came with some die cuts. So what I did was I went through these cards that they give us, and I pulled 1, 2, 3. I pulled one of each card and everything I needed to make one of each of those cards. Okay, so I got one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these. And here I've got one of this one, and then one of this one and this. I mean, these are basically the same, but these are what we needed. These were going to be used on those 3 cards. So I got those. Then there was a die that was this one, and where did I put it? Oh, and I emptied it, so I used everything. So there's 3 of these, so one sheet will do 3 cards based on the instructions. Of course, I did change them, so I got 2 more of these sheets. There was a sheet that had these, so I've got one that I've already kind of cut apart, but here's 2 more for the next ones. So, and then the 3 card bases that they gave us. Let me pull out my card bases. There's a card base with this bookshelf. I'll go ahead and pull that one out. There's a card case, a card base with the dots. They're little gold. I don't know if you can see the little bit shined or gold dots. And then finally we have the window sheet. If I can get, I thought I had 2 stuck together, but maybe I don't. But this window, that you can do all sorts of things with this. Hang on, I'm gonna fix my light. Off, on. Okay. If I touch, it's a touch sensitive, so it messes up. So that's what I'm working with. I'm working with one of each thing to make the 3 cards, except for I'm making more than the 3 cards. All right, let me show you what I've done so far. I'm going to try to be cognizant of staying in the camera. I hope I am. Since this isn't live, I can't watch myself to make sure. But again, okay, so for this card base, let me show you what I've done. Here's the first card. Okay, and so what I did was I cut my little bookcase down. So I used this bottom half and this top part So I'm getting 2 cards out of that. And then I also cut off the back side because I can use that for other things on the front or for my inside pieces of the card. So that's the first thing what I did was cut this piece down. And again, I showed you how I cut that down. And here I used a piece of fresh freesia behind it, and then behind that I used a piece of shaded spruce cardstock. And then for our card base, I used the Coastal Cabana. I used a little bit of the gold foil here. There's one of those little cutouts. They were white, but let me find it. I used a sponge dauber and added some color to that one. So here they are. And so I've used a big one on this card and a small one, and I added some a sponge dauber to give it some color. Oh yeah, I forgot about one of the sheets. Oh, I missed one. Hang on. No, I didn't. Okay, so this one where we cut things, where I punched things out of it. So we used the whole page is used on this one. So this piece right here is this one. I'm gonna get up here and see if I can make sure I'm in the camera. I'm gonna do it like that so we can still see my information, and you get to see so much of my lovely messy desk. I've been busy and it's just easier to leave it out. I did clean it off a little bit, move some things out. All right, so if you look at this little bookcase here, let's look at the bookcase. Oh, the other piece I used on this bookcase, on this card, was this piece right here. So when you actually punch this out, it's much smaller than it looks because it's got background color. So you can see, but I actually cut this little piece in half and I used half of it in that little tiny pot right there. Okay, now if you look at the card, and we're really only looking at the top part of the card because that's all I used was this part up here. And that little gold embossed little ball there, decoration, was already there. And these books were here and these books were here. And then I had this empty space on the shelf. I'm like, what am I going to put in that empty space? So the page that I used to cut out those, to punch out those large tags that came out of this, I cut off one of these strips right here and cut some more little books. So that's where these little books came from, right here. And I used my regular little hole punch to punch some of the gold. I didn't show y'all the piece that had that on it either. Hang on a minute. Maybe it's because I took that piece out. There's also a piece that has happy on it 3 times. And if you can see right here, I've punched some holes with just my regular hole punch. And then this one I think is it's a 3/8 of an inch. Here it is. A 5/8 of an inch hole punch. I used it on for one right there. So, and that's just one of the like school punches, hole punches that you can buy at the dollar. You can get those at the Dollar Tree. So, and I put those 2 right there, and then the in my little books that I made from cutting that little strip. So I'm gonna pull that up a little bit so you can see it better. I took some gold foil and put it on the side because I offset this whole thing a little bit and didn't put it in the center. And put the little gold strips here. These flower pots are popped up. Used a piece of linen thread to decorate that pot a little bit. And that's really, I mean, that's the only thing. And then I stamped To an Incredible Woman, which is in one of the stamp sets from the Paper Pumpkin set. So all the stamps that were in there, I've stamped them all in here. There were 2 sets of stamps. And for the most part, I'm using this and this, the little pot, the dots. Here's To an Incredible Woman. I've used that. I've used You Deserve the Best. That's mostly what I'm using on these cards right here because it's past Easter, so I'm not using Easter. And I already did a bunch of spring cards, so I'm not really doing spring. I did do a sympathy card. The next one I'll show you is a sympathy, and I pulled that out of another set of stamps. But anyway, so it's a nice, and that's a good way to help you if you go ahead and just stamp everything out, and you can kind of see what you have to work with. All right, so there really wasn't a very simple card, really. I'm using mostly, you know, what I had available other than some extra cardstock. And then there's the inside. I used a strip off of one of those tags that were punched out. This was the half of, so it was this side of the card base cut in half this way, so I could get two pieces out, two insides out of it, and did that there. You deserve the best. Stamped on the inside. Again, that's the little pot from the stamp set. This flower, this kind of little floral looking thing, and then the dots. And there's the first alternative that I did. The second one, I used this. Okay. And here is this card. Right here. Now what took the longest was figuring out my color pattern so I could get the colors split up where I wasn't having repetitive colors on top of each other. This piece right here is for the base, card base, is the Orchid Oasis. And again, I used those two stamps. I used this one and this one with Versamark and stamped the background. Then I just colored in all the squares. I cut this out. I also cut out the little strip down here at the bottom and used it here as kind of like a little ledge to put my little pot on. This was one of the punch out pots from, I think it's on this sheet again. Yeah. There it is, little purple one. And one of these little punch outs here, and one of these, and I actually cut that down a little bit. That's not the whole piece. The whole one looks like this. It's really large. But being a sympathy card, I just didn't want to overwhelm the card with too much floral, but I just wanted a little bit to be in there and complement the stained glass window. And so this is a sympathy card I need to send out with heartfelt sympathy. I don't know if I'm going to make another one of these, so I need to make sure I take a picture of it. Not another one, just like it anyway. I try to make them all different. And there's the inside. You're in my prayers. This came out of a current set in Stampin' Up. Oh, what's it called? I had it out. Let's see. It is called... Figure out which stack of stuff I'll put it in. I can't seem to find it. Well, I don't remember what it's called, but it's in the current catalog and it's carrying over to the next one as well. It's got like an anchor in it and a cross, and it's nice because it's got some religious things in it. And there's also going to be a stamp set in the new catalog that's got some actual Bible verses on it. So I'm excited about that. So there's my second alternative. Again, I kept this piece to use either as a front or insides of other cards. So 1, 2, what am I missing? I'm missing the other half of the bookcase. Oh, and the dots, the paper that has the dots. And I actually haven't used it yet, but there it is. And like I said, sometimes I just do stuff and then I improvise as I go. And what I did with this is I've cut it at a diagonal, and I figured I'll get 2 cards out of it. So I cut it like that. And then again, this piece right here, either as a whole piece or cut it in half for the insides or something like that. So like I said, I hadn't done anything with these yet, so maybe y'all have something for them by the end of the weekend. All right, so another card that I've made, and this one didn't use any of the paper, the card bases. This is pretty much just a card that was stamped. It's this one right here. I pulled this out of Bottled Happiness that came out in the catalog last year, Stampin' Up catalog, and it is carrying over to the new catalog. The stamp and the punch are both carrying over. So I just stamped that in Coastal Cabana. So the punch that came with the set, with this pumpkin set, was just an outline. So I punched the outline in black, and then I colored it with Highland Heather, dark and light. This one, I took the little paper that had the white pieces on it. I keep putting it away. I should just leave it out. This one. I got that pot from right here. I just laid it down on my paper and traced it with my with a little black fine tip pen. The other thing you can do with these is sponge them, use them as stencils and sponging. So I'm hanging on to these. I figure when I get to cards 15 through 20, I'll probably be doing some sponging. So again, so this was stamped, and this one was colored with polished pink. So polished pink color is going away. But it was one of the featured colors in this kit, so I was trying to go ahead and use it. Let's see. Little kitty cat was in a kit, I think called Welcome Home, maybe, was in last year's catalog. It's also carrying over to the new catalog. I'm like, I need to use that little kitten, it's cute. So there it goes. It kind of fits well with these little pots. This stamp and this stamp both came out of the kit right here. The stamp with the bottle actually came from the Bottled Happiness stamp set. So that's the only one stamp that I used. That one, well, and the cat, they didn't come from the paper pumpkin kit. And then this little one with the pick that goes in the plant with the smile, that came out of a retired kit, maybe Eden's Garden, maybe. But I thought that would be cute. And then I didn't really want to put anything else on the front of the card. I thought it was, you had a nice little scene. I did kind of lay a table by putting the crumb cake down at the bottom, and then I lightly sponged in some Pool Party, so it wasn't just white in the background. Linen thread, and then I backed it with a piece of, did I use Fresh Freesia? I think I used, or Highland Heather. That might be. Yep, that's Highland Heather, because this one's Fresh Freesia. I backed it on a piece of Highland Heather, and then the card base is with crumb cake. On the inside, I used some scraps to add some color. I stamped it in Gorgeous Scrape, To an Incredible Woman, You Deserve the Best. And again, I used the stamp, the same one I did here, but I just used Versamark to stamp it on the inside. Here I stamped it in black because it's an outline, and then I colored it in with Shaded Spruce, and what was the lighter color I used? I tried using mint macaron, but my markers were about gone, so I think I ended up using, I don't remember what I ended up using. Maybe I still used mint macaron. I just had to use one of the other mint macarons. Okay, and Shaded Spruce on that. This is Coastal Cabana and Fresh Freesia stamped on the front. So that's the next card. And we're going to stamp one like this in a few minutes. But before we do that, I want to finish up a couple other cards that I've kind of got laid out and ready to go. So I'm going to move these out of the picture right now, and we'll pull these in. So here's some pieces that I haven't used yet. I don't know if y'all can see. Yeah, you can see that far over on my desk. So there's some of the pieces that I haven't used yet that would be used on the first 3 cards. Okay, well, I've got 3 cards so far, and I still have leftover stuff. Okay, plus those two dot background stamps and the other half of the bookcase, which is going to be on this next card that we're going to work on. So let me pull that out. I think I've kind of got in my head what I'm going to do with it. I just have to kind of put it together. So for my card base, I'm using Fresh Freesia, 8.5 by 11, cut in half. And so this is 8.5, and this is 5.5. score it in half at 4 1/4, and then we'll fold it. So I'll go ahead and do that. I kind of like to look and see which way I want to fold it. Probably not this way. Probably want to fold it this way. Sometimes my edges are kind of raw, and it's not quite the scoring. Sometimes the scoring tool works really well. Sometimes not so much. And I'm going to go ahead and do a disclaimer right now. I've been having trouble with my eyesight, so sometimes I just don't see things real well. Especially, so I'm in my craft room. It is nighttime. It is a little dark. Even though I got a bazillion lights on in here, but sometimes I just don't see well, especially in the dark. And so that the natural outside light is best. I swear, I don't think this piece of paper was actually, it must have not been straight to begin with, because it almost looks like it's like totally off, like on an edge. I'm trying to see if maybe there's more space at one side than the other. I might just stick this whole thing in my cutter, my trimmer, and just trim that off right there. I think I'm going to do that because I don't like the way that's folding, and I don't seem to be able to get it to readjust. So I'm going to do, yeah, this piece right here. I don't think I can I get this all the way in? Yeah, just barely. I'm going to do it right here. It doesn't jam up make a mess, which it might have. I should have folded it opened it up to do it. I think it's okay. And then I'm going to do it again. That'll be okay. I can let this be the front. I think that'll be fine. All right, let me put that away. Alrighty. Okay, good. My camera's still going. And so this is the other piece of the bookcase. It measures out to 3 by 2 5/8. So I made this just pretty much a little bit bigger. It looks like I might have made it a 1/4 inch bigger. So that'll go on top of that. So let's just go ahead and glue that down. Because I know I wasn't doing really anything else with that. Let's go ahead and glue this on. I can't tell if my head's getting in the way. I apologize if it is. I've been standing up every couple of seconds to see if I'm camera's on screen, but I can't see if I'm actually blocking anything while I'm working, because I don't have it. It's not on live. All right, so it's gonna ultimately go on here, something like this. I have this little pot I'm gonna put here on the little shelf, and I had kind of cut little bits and pieces of some of these die cuts that I took out of the kit, you know, bits and pieces of these other things that I had figured I could put in that little pot. And then down here on the bottom, I punched out a bigger circle like I did on the other one. I think I'm going to just put that little circle right there to fill in that little space. So I think I can go ahead and glue that down as well. I'm not going to put that on dimensionals. All right, now we're going to concentrate on putting the little plants in our pot right there. So the way we're going to do that is I'm going to bring out my silicone mat. And this is great because I can get glue on it without my paper sticking to stuff. So, and actually, trying to remember how I was planning on doing this. I don't want them sticking out too far because I don't want them to come outside of my window too much. So ooh, this is bent on me a little bit. When you start taking smaller pieces, they get kind of delicate there. And that one there, and then I think I'll put this one kind of in the front, right in front of all of that. Okay, so let me do this. Let's put a little bit of glue right here. You can use glue dots if you prefer, and sometimes I do. It just kind of depends on what I'm working with. But and so I'm gonna put this one in the little pot first by doing it like this. And then I'm gonna put this little piece in the pot. So I wanted a little bit of overlap here from the other flower with the purple. And actually I was gonna put this one in front. So maybe, let's try that again. Let's take that off while I still can. I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna put this one in the pot first. It's gonna be in front because it's shorter. So I'm gonna just put some glue along the edge right there. And we'll put it on there first, right there. Okay, that's better. Now I need to put glue on this again because I basically cut off. When I pulled that off, I left the glue on the, with the little piece of purple on the back of my pot, but that's okay. Put some more glue on the back of that one. Make sure I'm in the camera. Yep, I'm okay. All right, and again, I'll do this one next. I think I'll put it about right there. And then we'll come grab this one. And I'm gonna turn it like that just a touch. I'm gonna do it about right there. So, again, this is one of the paper pumpkin kits. The way this subscription works is you can get it for, you can buy ahead. You can go in and buy a whole 1-year subscription if you want to, or you can buy a month-to-month subscription. So unless you go in there and like change something, they'll send it to you every month. Unless you go say, oh, I don't want it this month. You know, I've got too much to do. I'm behind. I want to finish the ones I have before I order anymore. Guilty right here. I have to do that all the time. And then, so I'm putting these dimensionals on this, and I'm putting them a little bit on top of the things to help them stay down a little bit. And I think these are going to be okay if I just leave them a little bit loose there. So you subscribe, and then and you have to subscribe each month by the 10th of the month. So if you've never subscribed before to Paper Pumpkin, so April 10th is come and gone. So we're getting the April kits now. I have got the April kit earlier in the week in my mailbox and haven't opened it yet. But so now you've got till May 10th. So you go subscribe on May the 10th, and on May the 10th you would pay for that month's subscription, and then it would come in the mail later on in the month. They have come to me as early as the 17th and as late as the 24th. But I'm on the other side of the country because they're getting made in Utah, and I'm over here in South Carolina. So that is part of the reason I get mine kind of late. And that's also a reason why I seem like I'm always behind. So that turned out pretty cute. And popped that up. And this is going to go here. Get rid of my silicone mat. We sell those silicone mats in the store. But anyway, if you decide you want the Paper Pumpkin subscription or one of the kits, again, it's the best way to get started with stamping because there's something there to guide you and help you figure out what you're supposed to be doing. So it's great for beginners, and I just highly recommend it. I think I want to put one of those little balls on those books too. Let me get my little piece of gold thing right here, my gold foil papers, which are in here. There they are. They got buried again. Get my just a regular hole punch right here. And I'll go down here and see if I can get a hole one without messing it up. Yeah, I think I got it. There we go. And the best way to do this is just to put a little dot of glue. Let's see, do I want to put it off center? Just a touch off center. Is you put a dot of glue, and then I use my little take your pick tool and use the putty side to pick this up and just set it on top of my dot of glue. So there's that one. And then we're going to put a sentiment. So I took one of these, are one of the punched out pieces. So I think I want to use that. I'm trying to decide kind of where I want to put it. If I want to put it over here or over here. Or do I want to rotate this? No, I like this down low. I could just put it like kind of in the middle, be like a picture frame on the wall behind the bookcase. Like right there. That'd be kind of cool. I think I'll do that actually. And do I want to use one of the sentiments here from the set? Probably. I've got some people that I want to send just nice things to. So I'm really liking this to an incredible woman. And I think I'm going to do that. And I want to do it kind of something dark so it like pops out real good. I think I'm going to use the Orchid Oasis, which is one of the colors that is in the kit. I didn't show you on the back of that paper that had, you know, all the instructions and everything in it, is a little section that tells you what coordinating colors from the Stampin' Up! Items are used in the kit. I'm going to get a fresh piece of scrap paper because that one's gotten all sorts of stuff on it. So the Orchid Oasis is one of the colors, and if you look in here, and this little piece right here has got some Orchid Oasis in it. All right, and I'm pretty sure I have this to an incredible woman. This is it right here. And I usually like to just test my stamp out on the scrap first. And also these photopolymer stamps, the ones you can see through. And then we've also got these kinds that are red rubber that have the sponge underneath them. So the photopolymers don't have sponge underneath them. So it helps if you use some kind of a pad. And we do sell these in the catalog as well, or online. But if you don't have one, you can put off getting one of those, and just if you have an old mouse pad, a mouse pad would work too, or even a pad of paper would work pretty well also. So let's see how I can do. Just tap, 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 tap. See if I can get this centered on here. And I apologize if my head is in the way. I will move it in a second. It's just to see, to get this stuff centered sometimes. Especially white on white, a colored piece of paper would have been better to see what I was doing. Let's see. That's pretty straight. I will take that. I will take it. And I think I want to actually go around the edges with the sponge dauber. And add a touch of color to the edges also. So I just get the little sponge dauber and dip it in the ink. And just brush it gently on the sides. And it comes out like this. There we go. And that'll just help it stand out a little bit better when I put it down on the paper. I will probably pop it up on some dimensionals. So the other thing I was trying to decide was to possibly put some ribbon or some kind of a twine or something. So I've got this colored twine here. Now I wouldn't want to put it on this whole piece because it's the same color. I'm not sure I would like that. I could put it on just this bottom piece down here. I could do something like that. and then tie bow at some spot or just a knot. But you know what? I think what I want to do, actually, sometimes stuff just pops in my head at last minute. I'm going to try to do a tiny bow to put on that pot, and I'll try to do it in that color. But I think what I want to do, I have an awful time getting these things started. This is the linen thread. I think I want to actually use the linen thread. And when I do these, I use Scotch tape. I'm going to kind of put that pretty much in the center of this strip. So this strip is 5 1/4 by 1 1/2, and it was a scrap strip of paper. Whoops, and my iPad's gonna tumble. It was just a scrap that I had. So when I pull in odds and ends pieces of paper, they're usually just over in my scrap bin. Or like if a card I finished earlier, if there was something left over off of a card from, 2 cards ago, and I'm trying to use those scraps up as much as possible. So I'm gonna hold that down with a piece of Scotch tape, and I think I'm gonna wrap it around a couple times. And it's a long piece of paper, and so I want to be careful though not to pull it so tight, because I don't want to cause the paper to pull. But at the same time, I don't want the thread to be like, too loose either. I want it to be taut. I think that's the right word. Let's see. That's going to probably do it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it off down here. So when you order Paper Pumpkin or off of the Stampin' Up website, stampinup.com, or you can go to paperpumpkin.com, or you can get to Paper Pumpkin from the Stampin' site, they usually ask you to pick a demonstrator. And if you don't already have a demonstrator, I would love for you to choose me as your demonstrator. I have not got the, there's a way I can set up an online store with my blog, but I have not got that set up yet. It's in progress. It's a work in progress. So right now you would just need to go to stampinup.com and then find my name, Kimberly OBrien. I'm listed on the site as Kimberly OBrien, and you can choose me as your host. And then if you place any orders on the Stampin' Up site that are less than $150, I would encourage you to use my little code there, because it allows me to earn free gifts that I can give to people. When I start getting a lot of people watching my lives and whatnot, I've got some prizes and stuff that I can give away to people, and so that's going to be exciting when that happens. So I'm going to do this. I think because I'm going to be covering this up a little bit, I think I'm going to put another piece of tape down here at the bottom, just a tiny piece, to kind of help hold that down a little bit. Keep it from like slipping too much. I'm going to do this, because I'm going to do it like this, and this, and then I'm going to have this piece here. I'm going to put that on dimensionals. I'm going to just glue this one down. So let's go ahead, let's glue a couple things. The name on my Facebook page is Kim's Kreations and Card Ministry. You can find me by typing that in. Kreations I use a K. And mostly that's what I do. I'm a ministry. I give cards to people, groups, nursing homes, VA hospital, Meals on Wheels, things like that. And I just take them, the bundle of cards, so that they can give them to the patients and people there, and try to make somebody happy. Give somebody, put a smile on their face. And that's what it is. It's a mission, but there are costs involved with the mission. Replenish supplies, buy new up-to-date supplies, paper, paper and glue and ribbon, and these things, they just, they get used up. And you can see I try to make good use of everything. But if I can get a few customers buying Paper Pumpkin kits and maybe some other odds and ends, that would certainly help me keep my stock of supplies going. So I'd appreciate any help you can give, and if you would subscribe to my YouTube page and like and share my videos so we can get more people to subscribe and like and share, because right now YouTube is not letting me do live posts. Everything that I could find, it said they used to make you have 50 subscribers before you could do a live, but then I read that you didn't have to have that anymore, and yet when I try to do a live it won't let me. So I don't know what the rules are. I can't seem to find accurate rules for YouTube. So anything y'all can do to help me out with that would be greatly appreciated. All right, now this one I'm going to put on dimensionals. I'll put it right side up. I want my bigger dimensionals, here they are. And so anyway, anything you can do with that. If you have, of course, if you have any questions, you can reach me. You can message me on YouTube. You can message me on my Facebook page. You can email me. I check this email probably twice a week. Kim's Kreations with a K .cards@gmail.com. But the best way to reach me is probably through a text message on this phone number, 864-752-5688. I won't answer the call if you're calling me, because I don't answer calls that I don't know who they're from. But if you tell me who you are and what you're looking for on my messages, I can message you back, and we can figure out if you need help with something or whatever is going on. All right. And then again, like I said, if you order less than 150, you can use my host code right there, DJWYBDBH. You spend at least $35 and I will send you a free card kit. We'll have everything that you need to make 4 cards, 2 of 2 designs. And the only thing that I will not include are the stamps, but I'll give you everything else you need to make the cards. And then if you spend $50 in addition to the card kit, I'll also send you another little gift. So again, if you don't have a demonstrator, you know somebody that's looking for a demonstrator, if you live anywhere close to me, I'm in upstate South Carolina, and would like to do a party and have people over to make cards, we can do that. We can do it for a birthday party. We can just do it just because, you know, whatever you want to do. I'll be glad to come to your house, and we'll make a few cards. We usually kind of do like a per guest fee, just to cover a small per guest fee, just to cover the expenses. But then the idea is hopefully that they will purchase some things, and the more they purchase, then you can get free stuff. So kind of works kind of like the old way that Tupperware parties and Pamper Chef parties and stuff like that, is that you can get free products the more that people order. Otherwise, we're just having a good time getting together making cards, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But I would have to charge just enough, like I said, to cover my expenses on my supplies. I think my scissors are finally starting to get dull. These are great little snips that Stampin' Up! Sells. I have a backup pair. I think I'm going to cut that. I'm going to see if I can make that a little bit tinier and then cut those off a little bit more. I thought I had it small enough, but apparently I do not. Let's try again. That should probably do it if it doesn't pull too much. There. I think that's going to do the trick. Yeah, that'll do. I'll put it about right there. So I'm going to get a little glue dot. Again, these come in your kits. The glue dots, and usually a little strip of glue dots. Like this is the one. This little strip of dimensionals came in this kit. And a little strip of glue dots came in this kit. I don't know which strip of dimensionals I'm using. I'm using some. I'm finishing up a pack right here. Look, it's almost done. I got, 6 left on this kit. So that's great. I love it when I finish something up. so let's pull this. We're going to put that little bow right there and stick it down, and then pull that little piece off, and then get my tiny little bow and put it on there. It's so cute. All right, and then I think I want to do something with this other linen thread, but not too much because I already have a bow here. Let's see what I can do with this one. I think this one I'm just gonna kind of like do a knot. Oops, I'm getting off the camera. Sorry about that. Okay, let's just take your pick tool is a great little tool. So it helps me with all sorts of little things. We want to put it there, maybe up here. Not down there. That's too close to the other bow. I think just right here. And I'm just gonna tie this in a little knot right here next to this, and then I'll cut these little pieces. Cut that a little bit shorter there and there. And that's really cute. You could add some bling or something to this if you want to, some little sequins or something, but it's got enough gold on it. I think I'm gonna just leave it like that. And then we're gonna do something on the inside. So let me see if I have any more of the little white pieces of paper. I'm not sure if I do. I might have to cut another one off of another card base. Yeah. All right, we'll cut a piece off of this card base right here. I'm only going to use a half of this back piece here. So, and again, I'm sorry if I'm off camera just a touch. With the trimmer, I got so much stuff on my desk, it's hard to get it fit up there where I can still get the part of the trimmer where I'm actually lining things up. So this is 5.5 inches, and I'm gonna cut it in half to 2 3/4, and I'm gonna use that half for the inside of my card, and we'll save this other half. And let's see what I've got here that I can use on the inside. I want to make sure, so it's going to go, we're going to want it to go this direction because of the way the card's going, okay? I've got To an Incredible Woman on the front, so I might use that You Deserve the Best on the inside. I could stamp a pot on the inside. I could put some of these pieces. I could put one of these and glue it down on the inside, maybe. Just that by itself would be pretty, and let it hang off the edge maybe a little bit. I have some scrap paper. I'm trying to see what I used. Oh yeah, because I used the little books. I've got another little strip of this right here. I could put this on here maybe like this, and then lay that on top of it, or put that down here, and this here, and this like this. Maybe something like that would look nice. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll do that. Alright, so before I do that, I want to go ahead and stamp my sentiment, so if I mess up I can flip my paper over. And I used that orchid color on the outside, so I'm going to use that inside as well. Let's see, I think this is the stamp that I did that with. You Deserve the Best. Let's see, I think I used the orchid color with it last time. Let's see. Yeah, that really stamps really cute. I'm gonna put it, sorry, I'm gonna pull this down a little bit and I'm sorry if my head gets in the picture for a second. Just gonna hold it there. All right, here we go. I was trying to, hoping I put it up high enough not to, so it won't get hit by my little leaf there that I'm putting on. Oops. All right. I'm going to be working on organizing and fixing, and my craft room has become it's a chore because I want to keep crafting and doing it at the same time, and it's hard to do by myself. I work full time and then I do this. I mean, I practically have a full-time hobby in order to get the volume of cards done that I need to do each month. And so trying to organize the craft room in between projects, I try to do a little bit, but I've decided it's just got to get done. So I think Memorial Day weekend, I'm trying to do some little things here and there. Like this weekend, I'm going to do a little bit of stuff, but Memorial Day weekend, I'm going to try to get it, pretty much get most of it finished so I can spread out a little bit better. Thing is, and I came into this craft, I used to do a lot of other crafts too besides cards. I've done scrapbooking, I've done other kinds of, I used to make wreaths and flower arrangements, and I would knit some, and some of that stuff I don't know what I want to, I don't know if that I want to get rid of it, because I still do an occasional wreath, or you know, I don't know, but it's hard. I'm gonna have to make some hard decisions, and I've got so many scrapbook albums, and I'm definitely not getting rid of my scrapbook albums, but I just got to figure out how I'm going to get them in here where they're still accessible, and yet I still have room for all my craft supplies. And that's another thing. If all you ever order are the paper pumpkins, you'd have everything, maybe some extra card stock, a few different colors of cardstock, and never buy anything else. But you know, I didn't do that. So well, there's that. I'm gonna stick it about right there. All right, that really looks nice. So I've got some ladies that I stamp with, and ladies that I work with, and ladies that I long distance stamp with, and I'm wanting to send them all a card in the near future. So some of these will be going to those ladies. Some, okay, so it turned out really cute. And again, this kit came with some envelopes. I'll end up having to use some more envelopes, but sometimes I cut the envelopes up and use the paper from the envelopes. But this one, the only paper that was colored was the flap, and so I decided I would just leave the flap decorate and send the card in a decorated flap. And I might still stamp something right there on the front also. But if I don't get that done, I do have a card, an envelope I can slip that in. So that's my, what number is that, 4? Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my 4th alternative. Let's pull out the 5th one. And I've already started it as well. Oh, I was going to get another piece of that paper, and I never got a piece. Okay, so this, is this Old Olive? No, this must be Mossy Meadow. Maybe. God, what is this? Garden Green? Let's try again, Kim. Garden Green. Garden Green, which is also part of the kit. So Garden Green, card base 8.5 by 11, cut in half, scored in half at 4 1/4. It's just a standard card. I'm not doing any kind of fancy folds or different folds today on these. This is one of those pieces that I punched out. I die cut these with the deckled rectangles dies. I believe they came out in the last year's catalog, the 2022 catalog, and they're carrying over to the 2023 catalog. feel like I'm missing something. Let's see, how many does it say? I'm supposed to have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There must be something down here. I don't know. I'm missing something. Oh, I have to figure out what that is. But I used, I think, this third one from the inside. For that one, yep. And then the next size was the pink. So Coastal Cabana and the Retiring Flirty Flamingo are the colors that I've used. For this, I want to go get me another piece of Mossy Meadow. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. I apologize for not having that in here already. Actually, I might have a piece over there. I just kind of forgot that I had it. And what I want to do with this, no, I know what, I've got a bunch of the shaded spruce over here. I did not have this color. So I'm going to cut this to be an extra layer on the front of my card. So I'm going to cut it. All right, so this is 5 1/2, so I'm going to cut this at 5 1/4. And then instead of 4 1/4, I'm going to cut it at 4. 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, so that's that right there. Now there's a couple different things that you could do. You could use some of the Mossy Meadow ink, so it's the same color, so it's tone on tone is what they call that. When you use the same color, it still shows up, but it's just, you know, very subtle. Or you can also do the same thing, pretty much get the same effect by using Versamark. And I did that on the inside of this card. I just used the Versamark ink and it left an impression, but it's just, you know, it's very subtle. So you could go around the card on this piece, this extra piece. I could go around and stamp one of those little leaf stamps or something like that and do that. The other option, if I want to do something, is maybe emboss, dry emboss something like an indentation on that. And that's kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do. And I actually meant to do that before I came on, so I apologize that I didn't already do that. But I'm going to go over here. I think I have an embossing folder that's a fern. And I think the fern is carrying over. Let me look. I'm not allowed to show you, but I can look. Let me see. Embossing folders. Yes, the fern is carrying over. You can get it now. The code is 158804. 158804. It is $10. And it's available now and will be available in the new catalog. If you will bear with me for a minute, I'm going to go run that through my embosser. And I'll be right back. I'm just on the other side of my room here. And it's all set up and handy, so shouldn't hurt me but a moment. Now these 3D embossing folders are kind of thick. I think this one's 3D. You don't need as many plates to get enough tension to make an indentation into your folder. So I got it. And here we have that. Let's see if you can see that fern. It's very pretty. Okay, and we're gonna stick that on there. You know, and if you don't have these die cuts, you can always just cut triangles. Just make sure you cut your triangle big enough for your little detail piece to fit on it. And it's so pretty. And this is just going to be a very simple card. I could put this up on dimensionals to give it, you know, a little bit more, but I don't think I want to. I think I want to just leave it. Trying to decide if I even want to put some twine on it or not. I don't think I do. I think I really want to keep this a simple card. So we'll glue down this piece first. I'm getting dry. I have a fan on. I meant to turn it off because it kind of makes like a humming noise in the background, I noticed on the video, but now I've had it going all this time, there's not much point in turning it off now. Hopefully it doesn't interfere too much with the audio of my film here. All right, there we go. And I'm going to come back and do actually a part 2 to this video to finish this card, because I noticed I've been on here about an hour now, and I'm going to go ahead and finish, come back in a little bit and finish this card and maybe do another one with you. So there'll be a part 2 to this video, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this onto here. And then again, I brought out my little silicone, my little silicone mat for this glue, where I've got, you know, I need to get, the other thing you can do, you could put, sorry y'all, ADHD, put a blob of glue and get a little sponge and sponge it on here, okay, if you wanted to do it that way. I usually just, you know, it's going to get some on my mat, but mostly I just want to get, especially down here, you just want to get a little glue everywhere, because you don't want it coming up, you know, but if you can get just a little bit of glue on all the leaves. And that's why these little fine tip glue bottles are great to have. I mean, I probably I'm going to squish some glue out, but it shouldn't be terrible. And this glue is not sticky, the glue that I'm using, so it's okay. And see, and I can pick that up. It's not going to stick and tear it up. If I had done that on a piece of paper just now, I would have ruined it. So, all right, and I'm just going to kind of lay it here at a little bit of an angle. Oops, I went too low. I just dropped it by mistake. Let's see if I can pick it up before it starts sticking. Don't stick. Okay, I kind of dropped it and I wasn't ready to. I think about right here is where I want it. Again, sorry if my head was in the way there. And see, I can just put my hand down on it and pretty much get any excess glue, since I didn't put any big blobs on there. All right, and I just, oops, put down as best I can there. And I guess the only thing I need to decide here is, do I want to put a sentiment on it somewhere or not? Or just leave it like I did the other one. And I could put something tiny right here maybe at the bottom of this. I probably want to color that something other than white though, because kind of shows out an awful lot. Or if I just want to leave it, it's very pretty just like that, isn't it? Because like this one, all I said right there was smile, and that little teeny tiny thing, but it had a lot going on. And this one doesn't have as much going on. Decisions. I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to leave it empty and put my stuff on the inside. So here we go. Let's just glue this down. in the center. And I think y'all can tell, I don't put stuff in the center very often. I did this one because it was an entire, took up the whole card. But this is not centered, it's brought down towards the bottom, which is why I have the card going that direction instead of this way. I did center my window. And this is, but remember I offset this one. So I don't always put stuff in the center. Matter of fact, I put more stuff in the center here than I normally do, actually. I usually offset stuff. So I still need to do something on the inside of this one. I tell you what I am going to do is some Versamark stamping on the inside of the card, I believe. I'm going to use this other little piece that I cut out for the inside. This one right. Oh, come back. This one right here. So I'll put this on the inside, and again, I'm going to want it to be portrait mode, not landscape. So whatever I do, I need to be able to see it like this. So let me think about this for a minute. What do I want to do? Oh, let me look at my sentiments on here. It's easier to see. Sending all our love. I wish it didn't say our love. I could do another incredible woman, really, because I have a lot of people that I need to send that to. So I think I'm going to do that again for this one. But the other stuff I want to do is what I can't decide. So I think I'm going to use, if I can find what I did with it, this stamp that was in the kit. I've got all these stamps out. I'll figure out what I did with it. Where is it? Where is it, Kim? This one is, that's the Incredible to an Incredible Woman stamp. Why can I not find my, those little, that. What I've done with it. It's gotta be here somewhere. Alright, card, dimensionals, markers, scissors, take your pick. Oh, nope, that's not it, that's a different one. There's this one. I'm probably just staring right at it. This is the one that came with Bottled Happiness, so that's not the one I want. Let's see what that says. Okay. There's the kitten. Goodness gracious, y'all. I honestly, oh, I bet that's it up there. No, that's something else. So I saw a stamp up there. It's got to be here somewhere, but goodness gracious, what did you do with it, Kim? Let me just check where I put the ones where I take them off. I keep big stamp pads over here where I move. Yeah, you look at that. I did. I moved it off over here because I needed a stamp pad and I took it off. There you go. I think I'll take the Bottled Happiness one off now so I'll have a place to put that. Let's put this here. Alright. Make sure my this is clean. And I'm going to bring the pink to the inside and stamp that in the, is that what we call it? It's polished pink, right? Yeah, the one that expired. Yeah, or that's retiring, rather. Put that right there. I'm all, this might have a little bit of ink on it, so I'm going to clean it off here on my chamois. We sell these in our catalog store as well. Go ahead and clean in a couple of them while I'm here because they're going to have to dry for a second too. I'll go ahead and do this one. That's most of the ones I've been using. Okay. Now, so I'm going to need my little sponge again because again we're using these photopolymer stamps. Okay, and my card's going this direction. Alright, and I need my polished pink ink. Oh, and it's over here. Kept it. I'm not putting it back on my shelf because it's a retiring color, and so I'm trying to keep most of the retiring stuff separate. I have been pulling a bunch of them out to still use them. But just trying to get some of the stuff organized. Yeah, I can do a nice stamp off with that. As a matter of fact, do something a little different this time. I think what I'm going to do, just going to stamp off on these, and I'm going to put a few of them on here. They're going to be pale enough that you could write over them though and still see what you wrote. I'm going to do that, and then I need to stamp in my To an Incredible Woman. Do I want to? I probably ought to use the Mossy Meadow for this. Oh yeah, that'll look nice. And I'm gonna put it about right here. Oh, sorry about if my head's there. I apologize. Oh, that turned out good. Now, You Deserve the Best. Am I going to do that in the same color? Or the pink? Yeah, I think I'll just keep it in. I'm going to keep it in the mossy because, again, I'm just trying to keep this one kind of simple. Put it like could put it way down here. Or maybe I might just put it like right here. I'll put it here. I want to put a little bit more ink on it. Sometimes I spend too much time thinking about stuff. Hopefully I got that on there straight. It's pretty straight. I can live with that. So it's going to go in here, right here, and that looks really nice. Again, we're just kind of keeping it simple. But I am going to do one thing with this stamp, or a couple of things with this stamp actually. Let me just move that one out of my way for now. I'm going to take this, I'm going to get my Versamark ink. Stamp this with the Versamark. Make sure you're being generous with it. Because you can't see it really, so it's kind of hard, so you just want to make sure you're doing a good job and being generous. So I'm going to put a couple of these on here. I'm going to put one, let's see, let's put one right here. And I don't know, I've never tried to do a stamping off with these. I don't know if it would work. I could try it on a scrap. Let me just put it on the back of this, see how that works. So the second stamp, see how that does. If it does a second stamp. Not really well, so you wouldn't want to do that probably, because it's not going to show hardly at all. And this is what the ink that you use if you're going to emboss with a heat emboss tool. You use this ink, and you put your powder, your embossing powder on it, and then you heat set it. But I'm not doing that for this. I'm going to turn This one just kind of wonky this direction, like that. And we'll do one more here near the top, and I'll bring it in this direction. Okay, and then I got one more. I'm going to put one on the back because I do this a lot with my cards. I'll try to put something on the back. I don't do it on all of them, but I do try to do either a tone-on-tone or a Versamark. Just a simple stamp on the back. And I got to put it up high because if I put one of my labels down there, I don't want to put a label on the top of the stamp, so I put it up a little bit higher than from center. Depends on if it's something kind of small, I can put it in the center. Just depends on the size. So that will be on the back, and then I can still put my little sticker and Stampin' Up! Handmade thing by you or whatever right there. Put the lid back on my Versamark because it does dry out quickly if you're not careful. And we just need to glue this into the center. Yep. And you know, sometimes simple cards are wow, beautiful cards, you know. And I kind of feel that about this one. It's simple, but it's also very pretty. It's nice. There we go. So this is what we've got so far, and then like I said, I'm gonna come do a part 2 and do a few finish that one where I said we were going to do this one. We're going to stamp that one together because I want to show you how I stamped it. Alright, so I've got that one, and then the one we just did. Look, I still have all this stuff I haven't used yet. Got all of this, and I still have those 2 polka dot pieces. And then we made this one, and then these were the ones that I brought in that I had already made. So I got all of these tonight, and I'll work on my part 2 video, and we'll make this card and maybe a couple more. So I hope you enjoyed our time together. I appreciate it so much. I would appreciate it if you would please subscribe to my channel, invite your friends that enjoy stamping to follow my channel. Also, and you can find me on Facebook as well. I try to do one on there too, a couple times a week, and I do those. I do those live. I don't have a set time right now. I'm probably going to be doing those on Wednesday evenings, and then either Thursday, maybe Wednesday and Thursday. I might do 2 evenings in a row, but I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do, and then I might occasionally throw in a weekend session. But I love these cards. So this is a great kit. The Paper Pumpkin. If you want any help subscribing to Paper Pumpkin, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you. The best way to reach me is sending me a text message here, or if you can find my Facebook page, Kim's Kreations and Card Ministry, you can leave me a message. You can send me something through Messenger, or you can leave me a comment on this YouTube video once it gets uploaded. Thanks so much, you guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and see you again soon.